Hello and welcome. Let's see, I'll just close this up and make it full screen. There we go. Okay, I'll give it just another minute or so since we've got a little group going right now, but I'll give it to about another 30 seconds or so and then we'll get started. I'm having all kinds of loud distractions here that I did not anticipate. Now I hear a helicopter coming outside. um, they have decided to start doing construction on something above me. So I have heard periodic drilling. So randomly, if you hear that, that's what that is. And then I got a text message that there is going to be a flyover for a funeral at Arlington National Cemetery. So I'm not sure what time exactly that will happen, but that will be today as well. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to Ethics and Yoga. I will be light on the ethics again so we can get to moving our bodies a little bit more and doing some yoga. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about being a multi-hyphenate person. And that being, we're all a bunch of different things all at the same time. You can be a parent and be a child and a sibling, you're a friend, a teammate, a coworker, you're all these different things. And the pandemic has sometimes made you be all of these things at the same time of parenting and working and trying to do a whole lot or maybe too much at the same time. So I mean, we're all doing the best we can, but as far as your DC government employment, you can be many things here too. It's just be careful about being too many things at the same time. Mainly in outside employment, if you choose to have outside employment, a lot of people have during the pandemic. I guess just because of the rise of the gig economy and everything. Make sure that this is outside of your tour of duty. This is if not outside of your tour of duty while you are on leave. You are not using government resources to do it. I mean, please don't be an Instacart delivery person using a fleet vehicle from work. I think we can all see that that is an issue. And be mindful of the work that you choose, that it doesn't necessarily conflict with your DC government work. All right, with that in mind, keeping in mind how many different ways you're a multi-hyphenate person, let's come into a child's pose. So bring your knees wide, maybe as wide as the mat. Bring your big toes to touch and sink back onto your hips and take your arms long in front of you for a nice extended child's pose. Just start to slow your breathing down. Long inhales and long exhales. I finally found my yoga mat. So if you're on a mat or somewhere that you feel is clean enough, you can bring your forehead to touch the ground. And having something touch your forehead like that is helpful because it's a trigger to your body that, I mean, not a trigger in the bad way, but it's a signal to your body that you are safe and you can now rest and digest. And that turns off your sympathetic nervous system, which is a go, 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 fight or flight, and puts you into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest, digest, relax. And taking your left hand
to the left edge of your mat. Take your right hand on top of it, just taking a long side stretch, still staying in your child's pose. Anchor down through your right hip, and you'll feel a long pull through the right side of your body. Again, lengthening your breathing. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, move your right hand to the right edge of your mat and walk your left hand over to be on top of it. Anchoring through your left hip, let's stretch the other side. Walking your hands back into center when you're ready. Gently start to bring your hands back towards you, coming up onto your hands and knees. We'll take a few gentle cat-cow stretches. So inhale to arch your back, looking up. And as you exhale, round your spine, pushing your hands and your knees away from the mat. Inhale again to look up. Exhale to push away. Do a few more of these just with your own breath following your inhale and your exhale. And just you can start to move any way that feels comfortable to you. If you want to sink back and feel a little more in your hips or lean forward, get a nice stretch into your wrist. Or maybe making like a figure eight shape with your body. Coming back into center. Now, let me see. Are you able to see me this way? Turn your hands around. So, still on your hands and knees, but turn your hands around so your fingertips are facing towards your knees. And this is a really nice stretch for your wrists. Start to sink back towards your hips, not too fast because you'll feel the pull very quickly here. But this okay, I'm in the this is this is a really good stretch, but a really kind of painful one too for me. Um, I am guessing that most of you are keyboard warriors and that you spend 8-ish hours a day at your desk over the keyboard, clicking with your mouse, and this is a nice way to get your wrist going back the other direction. So help to fix any imbalances in your body. I mean, it's years of imbalances, so it's all right. Just get a nice stretch. We're doing the best we can here. All right, coming back into center. You can shake that out if you like. Move your hands about one handprint forward from where they are. Tuck your toes, and let's lift up into our downward facing dog. Like your feet to be about hip distance apart. You can keep a gentle bend in your knees until as long as you like actually. But if you feel warm and you're able to straighten your legs, please feel free. And pushing your hands into your mat, feel all 5 of your fingers making contact with the mat and your palm, just pushing away with your biceps next to your ears. Now looking up between your hands, gently walk your feet up until they are close to the front of the mat. We'll hang here in a nice forward fold. Again, you can take a gentle bend in your knees. You don't feel like this is accessible to you. Now, another nice stretch for the keyboard and desk warriors is a stretch for your lower back. So if your fingers are near to the ground or close to it, start to walk them over to the left side of your left foot. And if they're not on the ground, just bring your hands around that direction. And we'll stretch, reach as if we're reaching towards the ground, but on the left side. That'll give you a little bit of a stretch in your lower back. And when you're ready, walk your hands around the other direction to the outside of your right foot and hang here. You may have one side that you feel way more than the other, and that's totally normal. This is my really tight side. Not exactly sure why. Walking your hands back into center. Inhale your hands to your shins, making a flat back. Exhale to fold. Now, on this next inhale, I want you to sweep your hands up all the way up overhead until they touch. And exhale them down by your side, mountain pose. I don't even think I introduced myself. My name is Rashi. I'm the General Counsel at Vega, and welcome to Ethics and Yoga. So let's reverse it and let's go back the other way. Inhale, hands to touch overhead. Exhale, slowly dive into a forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, making a flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank, and lower halfway, all the way, or knees, chest, and chin. Inhale to a gentle cobra or an up dog. So a cobra would be hands underneath your shoulders, just lifting your upper chest and back. And an up dog would be pushing through your hands, lifting as much as your upper body as you can, maybe all the way back to your hips. And from here, tuck your toes and we'll push back to a downward facing dog. You can pedal out your legs, bending one knee, pushing the other leg straight, and alternate. From here, bring your feet together, toes to touch, and lift your right heel into the sky behind you. And bend that knee, bring it in towards your nose. And ultimately, you want that foot to come to rest between your hands. If you can do that with just your foot, great. Or you can grab your ankle and give it a ride to the front of your mat. Spin your left heel down. So that left toe is at a 45-degree angle to the front of the mat. Lift up into warrior one. Hips and shoulders are square towards the front of your mat. And now turn them. Hips and shoulders square to the left edge of your mat for warrior two. Take your gaze over your right middle finger. As you inhale, you can straighten, get a little break for your legs, and then come back in when you're ready. And you can do that a few times even. Now turn your hands over so your palms are facing the ceiling. And now we'll lean forward just a little bit and then drop your left arm, lifting your right arm up. This is called reverse warrior. And you can leave that left arm hanging awkwardly if you like. You can rest it on your thigh or you can wrap it behind your back even. And just choose what's comfortable for you. I really hope y'all can't hear that drilling. Bringing your hands back into your warrior two position. Let's toe heel that back foot forward a little bit. Now turn both of your toes
not both of your toes, you have 10. Sorry, both of your feet, toes facing towards the front of the mat. And gently start to walk your hands down your right leg. This is pyramid pose, and it's a very deep, very intense hamstring stretch. So I don't want you to hurt yourself. Just be careful, but get as far down as you like. Now start to bend your right knee. Bring your hands to the mat. You can plant them here. Send your right foot back next to your left. And let's lower all the way down to the mat. From here, we'll do a pose called Locust. So with your arms down by your sides, you're going to lift your head and shoulders, and if you like, your legs at the same time. So it'll look something like this. You're using your upper back muscles to lift your upper body, and hopefully you're using your glutes and thighs to lift your lower body, not putting too much pressure into your lower back. If you do feel that pressure, release down a little bit further. One more breath and release entirely. You can bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs. Coming back to your laying down position. Plant your hands near your shoulders. We'll come up to a plank. Push back again to your downward facing dog. And see if it feels different now. If you feel a little bit warmer, sometimes those warrior poses are really good for warming up your body. And bring your toes together to touch. Left heel behind you into the sky. Bend that knee. Bring it in towards you as if it's going to touch your nose. And gently bring it between your hands. Spin your right heel down, warrior one. Again, hips and shoulders square towards the front of the mat. And now make your hips and shoulders square towards the right edge of your mat for your warrior two. I turned around for you so you wouldn't have to have the back view. And again, you can breathe back up out of this leg and come back down in. And up to you how much you bend your leg here. Some people like to come all the way down to like a 90-degree angle. I find that to be pretty painful. So just come to whatever level feels good to you. Maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but not to where you're hurting anything. Turn your hands over, palms towards the ceiling. Lean forward just a touch. Left hand up. Right hand wrapped or on your leg. Reverse warrior. Bringing your hands back into a warrior two position. Bring your back foot forward. And we'll come into pyramid pose on this side. So point all of your toes towards the front of your mat. And you can keep your hands at your hips or walk them down your left leg until you get to the area that feels like a good stretch for you. And when you're ready, bend your left knee, plant your hands, and step back to a plank. And lower all the way down to the ground. Now we can take another locust here, or if you'd like to try bow pose, that is similar, except you're going to bend your knees, grab the tops of your feet, of your feet plural, with your hands. And then you're going to do the same lift, lifting your lower body, lifting your upper body and chest. Don't forget to breathe. It's very easy to accidentally forget and try and hold your breath here, but that will not serve you. It does feel kind of hard to breathe though when you're resting right on top of your lungs. So when you're ready, release. Again, you can bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs to get a little release in your back. Now I think we have enough time where we can do one balance pose. So if you'd like, push yourself back up to a plank and then just walk your hands backwards until you find yourself in a standing position. And we'll do a tree pose on each side. So let's start um, with our right side. So plant your left foot, and then you'll take your right foot and place it either on your calf or up on your thigh. Just as long as you don't put it against your knee, because your knee doesn't bend that way. I think you know that. So try and stay away from pushing on your joints. But pick your level, whichever you like, and then we'll just see if we can hold it. You can bring your hands to prayer, or you can send them down like roots, or grow them up like branches. Now, if you're just doing really awesome today and this isn't hard for you at all, try closing your eyes for a sec. That really adds something. Bring your knee to the front and drop it down. Shake that out and switch to the other side. Plant your right leg. Choose your level on this side, whether it's your shin or your thigh. And then choose your hands. Roots, branches. Try closing your eyes maybe. You probably have one side on which your balance is better too. I'm not sure. Maybe this one is my better one. Turning your knee back to the front. Bring that to the ground. And let's come to just a seated position on our mat. And we'll do a figure 4, which is a nice hip flexor stretch. So take your ankle, your right ankle, placing it just above your left knee. And you can have your hands behind you, maybe your fingers facing towards your butt. And just lean into that stretch. Take about 3 breaths there. And on your third breath, we can change sides. Left ankle above your right knee. Sit up here. This side is, for some reason, much tighter than the other one. If you are a runner, you probably need to stretch these more than most people, or you may just feel that they're really tight because you use them so much. Releasing that. Now let's come onto our back. Hug your knees into your chest. We'll do a little bit of spinal twisting and then I'll let you rest. I'll stop talking. Actually, no, I'm not going to stop talking, unfortunately. So take your arms out like a T. Drop your knees towards the left as far as they would like to go without you getting hurt. Try and keep your shoulders both flat on the ground. And take 3 breaths here. Rolling back into center. Straight sides. Legs to the right. Take your gaze to the left. Trying to keep your shoulders on the mat if you can.
Coming back into center. I always like to end with a happy baby before we take our rest. So if you would like, take your feet as if you were holding a beach ball on top of your feet and trying not to let it fall. Then grab through your knees, but to the outsides of your feet. And grab on and pull. Just if you are able, pull your knees towards your armpits and you'll feel a nice stretch in the top of your quad, in your hips, and a hip opening stretch. And when you're ready, release everything down, shake out any wiggles you have, and come to your Shavasana. Start to bring some movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, I want you to take one big stretch, pointing your toes, taking your arms long overhead. Imagine you're a cat sleeping in a sunny windowsill. Just luxurious, big stretch. And then curl up into a little ball. Come to whichever side is comfortable to you. Gently pushing yourself back up to a seated position. We'll finish with this. You are all multi-hyphenate people. You're all good at so many different things and capable of so many great things. And just remember, you are already ethical. Don't forget who you are. You know what's right. And if you have any trouble deciding, you call us. That's what we do. We'll help you. So email Bega, call Bega. We are here for you.
whenever you need. And with that, so just be kind to yourself today and be kind to one another. I see you doing your best, and I know that everybody else around you is doing their best too. So, in that spirit, bring your hands to heart center. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.